Welcome to Barbara's Bulletin, the podcast where we dive into the most pressing stories from around the world. We have a lot to cover, but first, let's take a look at the situation in Gaza. The humanitarian crisis in the region continues to worsen, with thousands of Palestinians displaced and struggling to access basic necessities like food and healthcare. As we've been following the story, Israel has maintained control over about 70% of the Gaza Strip, while Hamas remains in power in the remaining 30%. The ceasefire process has stalled, with both sides blaming each other for violations. Despite efforts to negotiate a peaceful resolution, the situation on the ground remains volatile. We've seen reports of protests and dissidents being silenced by force, and a growing number of people appear to have lost confidence in the two main political parties, Fatah and Hamas. The humanitarian situation is becoming increasingly dire, with aid organizations criticizing Israel for obstructing aid from entering Gaza. It's a complex and sensitive issue, and we'll continue to follow it closely. We'll also be exploring other perspectives and insights from experts and individuals on the ground. As always, our goal is to provide a fair and balanced view of the situation without taking sides or promoting any particular agenda. The situation in Gaza is just one of the many important stories we will be covering today. We'll be examining the latest developments, talking to experts, and analyzing the implications of these events. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're diving into the complex and ever-evolving situation in the Middle East, where tensions between the U.S. and Iran continue to escalate. The Strait of Hormuz, a vital waterway for international trade, has become a focal point of contention. Iran has asserted its control over the strait, requiring ships to obtain permission and follow approved routes, while the U.S. maintains that it's an international waterway that should remain open to all. The situation took a turn when President Trump announced plans to impose a 20% cargo charge on ships in exchange for safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz. However, he quickly reversed this decision after facing backlash from Middle Eastern leaders, instead opting for trade and investment deals with Gulf Arab countries. Despite this, the U.S. has gone ahead with its blockade on Iranian ports, which has disrupted global trade and increased fuel prices worldwide. Iran has responded by threatening to close not only the Strait of Hormuz, but also the Bab al-Mandab Strait, another critical choke point for international trade. The Houthis, an Iran-backed rebel group in Yemen, have also pledged to close the Bab al-Mandab Strait if Saudi Arabia continues its attacks on Yemeni infrastructure. As the situation continues to unfold, it's essential to consider the perspectives of all parties involved and work towards a peaceful resolution. The implications of this conflict are far-reaching, with potential consequences for global energy supplies, trade, and economic stability. It's crucial for world leaders to engage in diplomatic efforts to de-escalate tensions and find a mutually beneficial solution. As we continue to monitor the situation, one thing is clear: the fate of the Strait of Hormuz and the broader Middle East hangs in the balance. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, we're taking a closer look at the escalating conflict between Russia and Ukraine, particularly in the Black Sea region. Reports have been emerging of increased attacks on key trade routes, with both sides suffering losses. According to recent updates, Russian forces launched a series of drone and missile strikes on the Ukrainian port city of Odessa, resulting in the deaths of 3 people and injuring several others. The attacks, which targeted civilian, industrial, and port infrastructure, mark the 5th consecutive day of strikes on the region. Meanwhile, Ukraine's drone forces have been actively engaging Russian shipping in the Black Sea, with claims of hitting 20 Russian vessels overnight. These attacks have led to restrictions on shipping in the Sea of Azov, a critical route for Russia's grain exports. It's essential to note that both sides have reported casualties and damage to infrastructure, highlighting the complexities and humanitarian concerns surrounding this conflict. As the situation continues to unfold, it's crucial to remain informed and consider multiple perspectives to gain a deeper understanding of the issues at play. That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.